Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson. I'm channeling the man in the moon today. I'm just going to see some predictive questions, and the first one's about the economy. I'm concerned. My business has certainly been affected, and even in Australia, where everybody's got a job, there is much less spending going on. This largely has to do with the Fed chair, too. They're going to switch to the Fed chair. This could be an absolute disaster. They try to goose the economy with low interest rates. We could be facing serious inflation. Take a look at that. War in Iran, maybe that's going to come up. And voting rights. As you'll know, by the Supreme Court decision, they have completely gutted any idea of democracy in the United States because of the rules on gerrymandering. Let's take a look. Number one, the economy. And by the way, if you hear noise outside, it's everybody's building here. The economy hasn't ground to a stop. Always Australians build. Let me bring the mic a little closer here. So let's take a look at the economy. And first we'll look at the US and then the world. So United States. It just, first of all, it seems really crazy. It's just like a crazy up and down sort of situation. I'm just being shown a steep decline. There's, it returns, but there's a very steep downturn. So what am I looking at? Inflation? Okay. I'm not sure what this line represents. So Spirit, does this reflect, what does this reflect? Inflation, unemployment? Yeah, I think the indication here is just it's going to be crazy. Let's get a little clearer. What about inflation? Yeah, I'm seeing real problems with inflation. I see a person like holding money and they're like, it's not worth anything anymore. Some serious pain here. All right, I'm seeing hungry people, but I'm gonna make double sure there's always hungry people. Well, maybe this is more than that. So there's a large family sitting at a table. There's a big old, there's a table in front of them. There's a big old pot of food. But it's just they're kind of eating the cheapest food. It's like a big old pot of like bean soup. It's a very large family. It's like 12 people are sitting there. And it's just giving me a feeling of it's just sad. The family's doing their best to stay happy, but they're trying to change the subject, but it's kind of, no one's talking about it. No one's talking about how there's no food. Like, there's going to be no dessert tonight, nothing extra, just the bean soup. And I do notice that people are getting really angry about it. They are trying to cool on the dinner, but after dinner, mom and dad are having a talk, and they're pretty upset. They're worried about what they're going to do. They realize the situation could get much worse. I think this is now. I don't think this is the future. I think right now I'm just seeing a typical life in the United States right now. I do feel like Australia's a bit better. But let's see, when the Fed chair shifts, when it's no longer Powell, And I know Powell isn't just moving to a different position, but he will have much less power. So this new guy shows up. First of all, is he getting confirmed? He's going to get confirmed. I forget who the new guy is. Just a Trump toady. I think his name is Mark something. Anyway, he does get confirmed because no one will go against Donald Trump. So here's this new guy, and he's climbing a mountain. He gets to the top of this mountain. There's like a plateau there. And he meets a Native American shaman on the top of this mountain. And the shaman is just doing a, sort of a routine with him. Like, I shouldn't call it a routine. It's almost like he's sort of organizing his powers in front of him. It's like almost like we want this to be logical and, oh, right, I got this idea, I'm going to just lower the interest rates and everything will get better. Well, economies don't necessarily work in a logical fashion. People don't do what they should do. This shaman's just there like, dude, I'm the real guy. I'm the one in control. I'm the magic guy. Don't mess. You think that you're in charge. Well, the economy functions in a completely different fashion from the way that we would want it to. It has a guidance system of its own. Okay, now the shaman is showing me land. And there's like a valley with a town in it. What's in the valley? What's going on there? Some of the people in this valley town are becoming very angry. And it's like, first it's just one or two people, but more and more the population of this place is getting angry. Okay, so it's not just that they're getting angry, they're getting active. They're almost like getting together to do something about this. It's like, it feels like the regular person who would not have been political before, or, oh yeah, well, everybody else is voting for Trump, I'll vote for them, are becoming, radicalized to the point where they're, the government doesn't work anymore. It's not a democracy anymore. So we have to act. It's like a French Revolution sort of scenario. And I'm getting a feeling they're quite aggressive. When it comes to feeding your kids, if you don't have food, you don't sit around and, meditate and go, be nice, right? These people aren't those people, right? They're not the people who are just going to meditate and be nice and accept the future. They have to feed their children. I mean, I'm seeing a knife, I'm seeing a long sword. It just, again, it makes me feel like French Revolution times. Okay, hopefully you're not getting too much wind here. So, here we are in French Revolution times. I'm seeing the new chair. Actually, I'm seeing both of those chairs. I'm seeing the present one who's on the way out. He's sort of rolling his eyes. He's like, I told you so. Here's the new Fed chair. He's completely floundering. All right, so Spirit, what does this long-term mean? What does this mean, this economic shift? It's going to have some serious implications. I think that this is a very worrisome thing, that they're going to try to goose the economy this way. It's not going to work. It seems like it's going to be a disaster. And it might work for a short time, to stimulate things. And then there's the, long-term effects, which would be, inflation. And they're going to be trying to be tricky about this. There's something tricky, they can try to do, to raise inflation. In some ways, it helps them to pay the debt. They can print lots of money, and essentially that's a way of giving a tax benefit to the rich, creating inflation, which does not affect the rich very much, or they can take advantage of it because they're rich, and everybody else is in serious economic trouble. Yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of people marching, but they're not hoo-hoo marching. They're like carrying pitchforks. Then they get to Washington. This has a January 6th feeling to it. It doesn't look like they're there just to protest. And there's some counter protesters, so now there's a sort of clash between the two of them. That one of the groups is sort of pushed back. It seems like the counter protesters are pushed back, but it's fairly aggressive. And, the White House is worried, like they're going to break in and hurt people. Like they're frightened they're going to go into some security apparatus. Yeah, there's real fear here in the White House and in the government that the people will, take their power back. So what is this meaning economically for us? Yeah, inflation. I mean, that's what it's going to mean, more inflation. People are going to go to the gas station and fill their tanks, and they're going to leave furious. Yeah, one thing I hope y'all will do is place those Trump stickers on the gas pumps pointing to the prices for the world. The world is shifting. It is just going to, all the power dynamics are just going to shift more and more. This will be unpleasant. I don't think it will be a total disaster, but it will be shifting. So, for us, watching this happen, again, you are the witnesses. This will go in your Akashic record that you lived through this time. Notice that you will have a lot of emotions. Don't attach yourself to the things that are going on around you, as they will, they'll destroy you if you get too attached. Again, see yourself as a viewer and be very compassionate for yourself and others. Let's see if we get any more on the war in Iran, which, of course, there's a ceasefire now. It's on hold. Yeah, I'm getting August is a big month, and I think that's for the economy and the nation, that is the United States. But it may also be June, July, August. May even be July that this continues, this problem in Iran, if we can call it that. I'm seeing Lindsey Graham for some reason, and he's just, like one of those crazy Southerners who's like ranting and a maniac. Nothing against Southerners. I just mean those kind of crazy redneck guys with, anger issues. It's just that kind of contradiction. Lindsey isn't really that guy. It's like this performance. He's pounding the table. Blah, 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 blah. What you doing, Lindsay? It's like he's arguing against the truth. And the war is ratcheted up a bit because I see a ship is hit. It's like the back end of a ship. It could be a US ship, I'm not sure, but it's certainly sort of a ship that would represent a Western coalition connected to the United States. It could be an American ship. And just what's Lindsey yelling about? It's almost like he's just trying to ratchet up the war now that we've been attacked. He's wanting the American people to follow just like they did in the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Like, you know, he's trying to gin up this sort of angry support, but it's not having an effect on the American people. They're not buying it this time. Even the Republicans are not buying it. They don't believe this war. And it's a feeling like Lindsey's under the gun. Like, he's told if he doesn't gin up this war, then there's going to be consequences for him. Even other Republicans there are rolling their eyes like, this is dumb. I'm not going to get elected if we keep this war going. Now, okay, here's Hegseth, and this just epitomizes him. He pulls down his pants and shows the Senate his butt. Like, that's how mature he is. Yeah, and it's like a teenager prank. There's a couple of Republicans who enjoy teenager pranks, but most of them are a bit more sensible. They're realizing that this looks really bad for the American people. It doesn't promote the war in any way. Yeah, I see Republicans just putting their hands to their heads and being like, oh man, this is a disaster. All right, it's like the ships are leaving the blockade. The blockade is apparently ending. This is the American side. At some point they are going to finally strike a deal, but it's going to be America is going to have to hand over some cash, and they might just, you know, hand over cash that was going to Israel as some kind of bargain, maybe even an agreement that they don't tell anyone that they just got this cash. Yeah, it's just at best a really bad deal for the United States. They have given up cash and they're kind of giving up negotiating power. Now, ultimately, I think this would be a better idea than continuing the war. Iran will eventually face, you know, their own government at some point. We can't make them do that. So, all right. And Seth at some point is held responsible for the deaths of soldiers. I'm seeing gravestones. So he will face the consequences of this. All right, finally, voting rights. I'm just going to do a quick one here. So, Spirit, is this going to matter? Are the voting rights going to change? Change the votes? Well, again, this is just a way that we all know that the Supreme Court is completely corrupt. They have no desire for democracy. They know exactly what this is going to mean. They will find something in the Constitution to help the Republicans win, always. So that's what this is really about. But the American public is becoming less and less sympathetic to the Supreme Court. Even the independent type people, they are resenting this. So I'm sort of seeing a dial, and I think this, okay, so there's sort of a lighter side, which is let's just call it a light side, rather Republican and Democrat, right? Here's the light, here's the shadow, here's the dial. The dial wavers a bit. And I don't think that it helps the right. It might even help the left a bit, because people don't appreciate having their power as a voter taken away from them. And that's a lot of people who are in the middle. The sort of mistake that the Supreme Court is making is that not all people who voted Republican are Republican. And they might change their mind. And they do not appreciate the way that this is going. It seems like it wavers just a bit. It does not make a huge difference. But if any difference, well, I'm looking at maybe a few percentage points. It could even be 5. All right. So again, everybody, I just want to remind you, you are you. You have your own life. This could be a good thing for everyone if we are able to just look at it as something we're watching and learning. It does not have to be all bad. Don't let this get you down, all right? Because then they win. We can pull through this. We can learn more. Anything is possible, and there are ways to find the silver lining and take an advantage here. Thanks for watching.